happened one day. A young man came to see Buddha and asked him to explain his teachings in simple terms, as he doesn't understand complicated discourses. To this, Buddha asked him, "Do you have a child?" And the young man said, "Yes, I have a child." "Does your brother have a child?" asked Buddha. For that, young man said, "Yes, he has." Buddha asked, "Does your neighbors have a child?" "Yes, they do," answered the young man. "Does the person not known to you personally have a child?" "Yes, my lord," said the young man. "Well, then tell me, if your child dies, how sad will you be?" "I would be very disturbed. I would feel incredibly sad. I would not be able to bear that news. I would feel that my entire world has collapsed. I cannot imagine whether I could make it through." Then Buddha asked, "If your brother's child dies, how sad will you feel?" "Bhagwan, I would feel devastated, but not to the extent if my own child dies." Buddha continued to ask, "If your neighbor's child dies, how sad will you feel?" "Bhagwan, I would feel some sadness, but not to the extent if my brother's child dies." Now, if the child of a person not known to you personally dies, how sad will you feel? "I would not feel any sadness," said the man. "Then what does the extent of sadness depends on?" Buddha asked. After thinking for a moment, the young man replied, "Bhagwan, the level of sadness is relative to the extent of me holding on to anything as mine." Buddha continued, "When you took your child to the beach, did he not play with sand castles?" "Yes," said the young man. "When the ocean waves broke the sand castles, did your child cry?" "Yes," said the young man. "At that time, did you also cry?" asked Buddha. "No, I did not cry," said the man. "Why did you not cry?" asked Buddha. "Bhagwan, the child cries because he thinks the castle is beautiful and wants it to be there forever. Hence, he is attached to it. Whereas I knew the sand castle is not permanent, so I did not cry when the waves broke it down." So Buddha said, "Now do you understand that if you do not see the truth as it is, you will keep on suffering for petty things? There is no difference between kids who cry when their sandcastles are swept by the waves and you." Moral of the story is, you think that everything is permanent and try to possess it and get attached to it and live in misery when things don't go as you wish. And Buddha taught about non-attachment. Nothing in this world is permanent. The more the attachment you build towards anything or anyone, you are bound to land in misery. And if you do not overcome those attachments, They are bound to follow you as karmas in many of your lives until you drop them consciously. It is the truth that Buddha knew, and thus the only true way can be to live with non-attachment, and everything else would be an illusion. Now, powerful quotes about attachment. Attachment is the source of all suffering. Attachment is another name for disappointment and pain. Things are as they are. We suffer because we imagined different. Accept what comes and allow it to leave when it's time. The less attached you are, the more peaceful you are. You only lose what you cling to. Attachment to views is the greatest impediment to the spiritual growth. According to Buddhist psychology, most of our troubles stem from attachment to things that we mistakenly see as permanent. To be free from suffering, free yourself from attachments. Everything is temporary. Emotions, thoughts, people, and scenery. Do not become attached. Just flow with it. Non-attachment is the process of creating without being attached to the results. Nothing ever belonged to you. Even you will be returned. Don't get attached. Drop the idea that attachment and love are one thing. They are enemies. It is attachment that destroys all love. Attachment constrains our vision so that we are not able to see things from a wider perspective. Truly said, the less attached you are, the more peaceful you are. Excessive attachment to anything in life makes you mentally enslaved. Attachment to the outcome destroys your creativity. He who is overly attached to his family members experiences fear and sorrow, for the root of all grief is attachment. Thus, one should discard attachment to be happy.